Hello, in this video we are covering, what's the biggest way you failed when trying to flirt with someone? Please consider subscribing if you enjoy the video. Biggest fail of when someone was trying to flirt with me. I was leaving a party in college. A cute girl offered to drive me home. I said no, because I lived 1 block away. She was persistent, so was I. Took me a couple of days to figure that one out. Was at a festival, and went over to talk to a girl I was interested in. For some reason I tried to get her attention with a water bottle. That was unknowingly open. I freaking soaked her with it. There is no coming back from that. I was circa 18 and trying to flirt with a guy who I was sure had a French accent. I wanted to ask where he was from, and said, "Je suis de France," which, unbeknownst to me at the time, means I am from France. He was completely unamused and goes, "I'm from Hungary." 10 years later and I've never tried to speak French again. Or Hungarian. I was talking to a girl and her friend in a nightclub and it was going well, so I figured I'd whip out the old iPhone 3G long time ago I know, to ask for her number. I was far too enthusiastic and it went flying out my hand and landed on the floor and reset so it displayed the Apple logo. I just picked it up and said side never mind and walked away with my shame. Little did I know the girl who is now the mother of my child watched it happen and was laughing from afar. When I was 7 I had a crush on this girl in my class. I was the only boy in the class who actually liked girls by this age and I tried to hide it. At the same time though I really wanted her to be my girlfriend, whatever 7-year-old me thought that entailed. So I tried a bunch of different things. I invited her to my birthday party, where my brother made fun of me the whole night. I always picked her when we played 7-Up. Stuff like that. My favorite was when it was Valentine's Day and I wanted to impress her. So I tried to smell really good. I didn't own cologne, because I was 7, so I covered myself in baby powder. No joke, like head to toe underneath my clothes was covered in baby powder. On top of that I made this huge Valentine's Day card that had this picture of me and her holding hands I drew myself. When it came to hand out the Valentines, we did. But I was so nervous when I did it, and everyone started mocking me saying I had a crush on this girl. It all became a little too much for me and I vomited onto my crush. If that weren't enough, upon realizing my mistake I blurted out, "I'm so sorry. I love you," as I was trying to clean the vomit off of her with my bare hands. Safe to say she didn't feel the same way. My college crush and I were riding the elevator and she was sucking on her lollipop. She looked at me straight in the eyes and asked me if I wanted it, pointing the lollipop at my lips. I said, "Nah, I'm good." Elevator opened on my floor and I went to class. I freaking hated what I did for the rest of the semester. I liked this girl named Sydney and I was like, you know, Sydney and pretty rhyme for a reason, smiley face, and she was like, Sydney and pretty don't rhyme though, lol. It was the biggest L of my entire life. Does sending her a 5-paragraph long email, describing how madly in love you are with her, count? I don't know if it necessarily counts as flirting, because it wasn't subtle, but it definitely failed, lol. In year 1 there was a girl I had a crush on. In my little child mind I thought a good way to get her to like me was to leave those smiggle erasers, that you put on the end of your pencil, on her desk. Smart little child me forgot to actually think about how that would work. She had no idea where they came from and just gave them to the teacher, because she thought someone lost them. So back when I started learning how to flirt, a few prior successes made me decide to try my luck with this intimidatingly hot girl. So I walk up her brimming with confidence, tap her on her shoulder. She turns around and I said hey with a raised eyebrow. She's looking unimpressed, so I follow up, "Why would a girl like you feel the need to hide that pretty brown hair?" Her hair was black at the time. She's smiling now, "I've got this." She gets really close to me, all giggly and bright-eyed, asking how I knew her hair was brown. Her hotness shatters my false confidence and I start mumbling her having freckles, genetic impossibilities and deductive reasoning. It was all downhill from there. Not me, but a guy I sort of had a crush on totally failed at trying to flirt with me. We had been flirting and bantering back and forth for months and nothing ever came of it. But one day I ran into him when I was shopping at the grocery store he works at. We had not seen each other in like 6 weeks at this point, so we hugged and made small talk. As we were hugging to say goodbye he turned his head and full on licked my face. It was incredibly strange. Cute bartender I'd been lusting after brought me a drink and sat down with me. I freaked out so bad I spilled the drink on myself twice before I actually managed to get any of it in my mouth. Sigh. Fancied a lass for ages. I was around 23, her 22. We was heavily into raving, clubbing at the time, to hard house specifically. Now this girl Steph was really pretty, but had a very unique bone structure to her face, the type models have. So I was pretty smashed and we crossed paths in a club and small talk ensued and I basically said, "Steph, you are really hot and unique looking, you have the bone structure of a velociraptor." She was horrified and genuinely we spoke very little after this. Messaged a girl on Facebook when I was about 14, "You're really cute." She messaged me back, "You're really not bi." 14-year-old me was heartbroken. I was like 11 on the monorail at Disney. There was a girl I thought was pretty, but I couldn't think of anything to say. Right before she left for her stop I just said, "I like your braces." She looked at me like I had a third eye. My dad had a look of disappointment. It's a moment that still haunts me. Accidentally told my boyfriend I was dating him, because he was my only option. What I meant was, "You're the only one that gets me, and the passion plus commitment we share is so far above anything anyone else could offer that dating other people is not even an option anymore." Found out halfway through what I thought was a date that she was a lesbian. I'm a guy, and thought we were just going out for a drink as friends. To be fair, we're still friends years later. We bonded over our shared taste in women. I meant to say hi or something, but his arms were so beautiful, I ended up saying biceps. Tried hitting on a group of female cheerleaders. A male cheerleader was also there. Ended up talking to the male cheerleader about how to get pretty in the morning. "I love the way you smell." In my defense, it had been a long week. The girls I was with made a small peanuts joke and I said, "Hey," to which his herds going 100 miles an hour. Pretty much destroyed the conversation. I had been invited to go with a friend to Chicago. We brought along a friend of hers, but someone I hadn't ever met. He was a cute guy though, and we talked a lot, had a lot of similar interests. At one of the museums in Chicago, my friend wanted to go see a deep sea movie, and I can't do anything deep sea. Her friend offered to stay outside with me so we could both go look at the Lascaux cave painting exhibiting, which was very exciting to me. It wasn't all just about the cave painting, but about ancient life, napping, hunting, the way they made things, etc. So I, not being able to control myself, because I have zero social knowledge and I'm also Yahoo country, at the exhibit about hunting specifically, ask this very cute guy I am very interested in if he knows how easy it is to skin a deer. He looks at me, I look up at him and keep going. My brain is screaming at me to stop, but it has no control over my stupid honky mouth. Simple as getting a truck, a knife, a rope, and some rocks. You cut around the neck, make a kind of rough, and tie the rocks into that. Then you tie the other end of the rope to the truck and drive slowly forward. It comes off like a sweater. This dipshit dated me and married me, instead of running for his life. 4 years married this May. Love you forever, babe. Through brightest day and blackest night. She was talking about Alaska and jokingly said she thinks her dog could run in the Iditarod, and I responded with, "Hey, just like that one book we had to read in middle school, Stone Fox." Wait, but not the ending. And we sat in awkward silence for a few moments as I realized I made her visualize the death of her dog that she loved so very much. Not me. But this story fits and I love it. It was probably 1968-ish and my mom was in high school. She hated cigarettes, because her whole family smoked, but she wanted to impress this guy she liked who smoked, so she borrowed a cigarette from her sister, lit it and walked over to him. She took one puff and threw up all over him. That's how my parents met. They were married for 39 years. Oh, about a decade ago when I used to smoke, I was on the rooftop of a bar with the rest of the smokers when a girl came over. She offered up $1 for a cigarette, which was pretty common. So I said I'd rather get your name than your dollar. And she said, "I'd rather just give you the $1. It's not like I had the game or anything, but it happened in front of everyone I was there with. She won, got to darts and I didn't take the $1. Not really a flirt, but I finally got up the courage to tell the pretty girl in my class I had a crush on her. She told me she needed to think and I went back to my desk, heart pumping so fast I could hear it. She walks over and says, "You wanna be my boyfriend, yeah?" I said excited, "Well now I'm gonna dump you." I look over and her friends are snickering in the corner while she laughs in my face and walks off. Didn't ask out another girl for years. Secretly thought all girls were horrible for a while. Feels bad, man. I'm female. I wanted to try to flirt with the cute cop guarding my work building. So on my way back from walking in the rain without an umbrella, I tried to make small talk about the weather. What came out instead was, "In case you didn't know it's raining outside, just take a look at me. I'm nice and wet." His face turned bright red, and once I realized what just came out of my mouth, I started something like, no, I mean, and then I ran up to my office and hid the rest of the day. Never saw him again. Feeling I needed a neutral opener to the conversation, I approached him and awkwardly started talking about someone else we both knew. He just thought I was being nosy and gossipy, and told me I should shut the frick up and mind my own business. Ouch. I posted this ages ago, but it was deleted for some reason. In high school I was really into this one girl who would put herself down just to get others to compliment her. For example, she would say, "I'm so dumb. I know I failed that test," and then wait for someone to say, "Nah, I'm sure you did well. You're very smart." As a horny teenager, I never really noticed it until after someone pointed it out that she was just fishing for compliments, and now, as an adult, I freaking hate when people do it. But anyway, her original prom date bailed on her days before prom, and I saw it as an opportunity to step in and get this done. I was nervous as frig, using my best jokes and one-liners from TV, and it worked. I was getting somewhere, but I could tell that her interest in me was waning a bit, so I had to keep up the charm, keep talking, and, of course, I did so without thinking. I asked her out to the prom, and she freaking did it again and said, "Why would you want to take me? I look like an aborted fetus. You should take someone prettier." To which I said, "What? Are you crazy? I love aborted fetuses, and the prettiest one at that." I didn't realize what I had said until after a 10-second awkward silence followed by I gotta go. I'll see her around." I never actually did see her around. She just ignored me every time I would try to strike up a conversation or just shoot down any attempt real quick. I'm just so grateful she didn't bring it up to anybody to embarrass me. Because my god, I could never live that down. Was hitting on this girl in college. Was a party we had going on in one of the halls. End of the term, I think. Things going well, both having drinks and stuff. Just as I'm starting to make a move in for a kiss, this guy walks past with his girlfriend on his shoulders, and the girl I'm flirting with goes, "I wanna do that." So, very drunkenly picks her up. Proceeds to walk her straight to the next hall. Then I trip. She slips down and falls flat on her face. Lots of blood pouring from her nose. I stand up to see her on the floor like this, and stupidly say, "Your face looks fricked." She never spoke to me again. I asked the girl out and she said yes, then at the movies showed up with her girlfriend and told me that she thought I meant as I friend hangout type thing. Frig. I asked this girl for her number, and forgot to note it down. Safe to say, didn't get a date. Sent a note to a boy in 1st grade. "I think you're cut. The fact that I could correctly use your and yet misspell cute is beyond me." Him. "Hey, haven't seen you in a while. How's it going?" Me. "Ladies' toilets are out of loo paper." I was a not so tactical kid, so I put a piece of candy on a doorknob, approached the girl I liked and told her there was something for her in that direction, and walked away before I could even see a result. When I was in middle school, I had a crush on a girl, so I decided to write her a love note. I googled love poem and wrote down the first few poems that came up. Please subscribe if you like the video. It really helps the channel to grow. Adios.